Yo, what's going on, guys? Doing a deck profile here for my good friends at Millennium Rings. I just got top 8 at the remote YCS, playing pure Spright, the only Spright in top 8 at all. Yeah, so before we get into the profile, I'd like to shout out my sponsor. We're here on the mat, Top Choice Gaming, and all our sponsors down here. Shoutouts to Sunny Hobbies, a local in Toronto, Canada. Shoutouts to the Gatekeepers Discord. And then shoutouts to everyone who helped me test, which was basically top 10 DB. They always be sharking me and getting me on technicalities, but it helped out really well because it makes me not mess up in tournament. And then big shoutouts to also my Twitch where you can watch me play this deck live. I'm top 10 on DB right now, so it's a lot to learn there. If you guys want to stop by, this is pretty much the deck I've been playing. That's twitch.tv/KennyYGO. And yeah, that's about it. And we'll head into the profile. Alright, so 3 blues, 3 jets, carrot, and red. This is pretty obvious, I think. A lot of people play, or I see some people play more of these, but these are just really bad to draw. So if there's a way to play more, but have them in the deck so that you can never draw them, I'll play more. But there's no way, so yeah. And also, like, just want to play more room for like you want to have more room for non-engine slots because Tier Shizu is just way too strong. Then we go on with the swap frogs, beavers, and anglers. Pretty standard here. Something that's probably not that standard is I play 3 swap frog, but I find a lot of times when I do my full combo, I really want to summon swap frog using from Toad. From Toad to get an extra body because it's just another body for smashers, which comes up a lot because a common scenario against Tier is you'll go full combo, have your Toad and everything, right? And they'll like first action activate planet, and if you don't have a free body to like use smashers right away, then you only have elf and Toad, so you can't really like smashers efficiently because you really want to stop it because then they just start chain blocking everything, so you end up having to Toad negate that anyways. So I felt like when you did full combo you just wanted the body to smashers, and that came up like a lot, like every time actually. Because like if you're playing against the mirror, they normal summon the first thing you want to smash is that, and yeah, the planet situation as well. And that's it for the engine besides starter. But this is the reason why I did well. The reason why any deck right now does well, non-engine cards. That's not tier. So 3 Manamut, 3 Jerusalem, and 1 Soronier. So the only reason why I played this exact ratio is because I really just wanted to play these 6 and not the Soronier. But there's a common play in this deck that I do a lot. When you open Magnamut, you can special him, activate the effect, and then use the swap frog that you summoned to bounce back to your hand. And then in the end phase, you can search 2 Bestials, which comes up like actually a lot when you open Magnamut. So whenever that happened and you drew like these together, you want like another card to search. And the reason why I didn't play multiples of these is because what comes up a lot when I was testing the deck is this card's effect is really relevant. Just the fact that not only can it, obviously people know like it pops cards, but a common thing in this deck that I do a lot is I pop problematic cards after resolving Gigantic Sprite. And that's just like so much value for this deck that like makes this card just infinitely better than this card, just having that utility. And multiple times I've noticed that like I can't just have any Bestial in my hand. It must be Druid Swarm for me to like break the board efficiently. And then one of the main things is that this deck struggles a lot with Baguska. You'll see if you play this deck, you'll see Tier will try to make Tier Shizu will try to make Baguska every time they get like hand trapped multiple times or anything like that. And having this just be able to like link it off into Sprint, Dark, whatever you make, and then just pop is just really really good. So that's why it's these ratios. And then 3 Ash. It's okay against Tier, but you just need a generic card that's really good against Flu Under. And like it still does something against Tier. And then 3 Meister, and then 3 Imperm. So I was playing Valor over this before because I thought like Valor and Kick Callus is pretty good, and then Valor having overlap against Flunder was really good too. But I ended up using the Skullmeister because when I had Valor, I was actually just losing to tier every time they were getting to Kelbeck, the Miller. And because of that, I had to do in the Meister over the Valors because anytime they know that you're not playing a tier mirror, they'll just start milling like crazy against you. And you just can't handle the pressure with this deck when they have like a loaded up graveyard and they're hitting like Screams, Celiacs, like multiple names, and you just can't handle it. And having this card is like really good to like stop that, of course. And these two together actually work in pairs very well with the Bystials. Because anytime they mill 3 using Merly, Shiren, Habnus, any two together would pretty much cut that off completely. And Valor just like didn't when I was playing Valor because it just doesn't do anything to like the grave effects. But yeah, this was really good. Being able to stop the Millers was basically the main part of this deck. Yeah, I just could not handle the Millers, so that was good. And then just 3 impermanents. Best card, hitting Kikalos, Flunder, good. For that, and then obviously the starter. And then I ended up playing 2 Smashers and 3 Prosp, is obvious. And the reason why I played the 2 Smashers was anytime they like mill your deck and you'd hit a Smasher, it's really hard to clear boards efficiently because you don't really want to go to your extra deck and go out of your way to make like Soul Sweeper or like an extra deck card when you could just like jet search this. So I just didn't like it whenever my deck got milled. But yeah. Alright. And then I'll get to the side and extra. Give me 1 sec. Alright, I left my deck box somewhere else. Alright, let's get into it. We'll start with the extra first. Probably should have been more prepared, but whatever. Alright, so for links, I only played 2 elves, the Codebreaker guy, Dark, and Sprin. So this extra deck got refined a lot throughout the weeks when I was playtesting. Originally, I had so many other cards in here, like utility links, but I ended up realizing that like they never really came up, and these were the only ones that like mattered. These only really mattered, and this guy is literally only here for Baguska. If you don't know what it does, it basically doesn't do anything. It's just a 2300 attack guy that you can make whenever they make Baguska, and it runs it over. And then it's a link too, so you can still keep playing if you have red or carrot or starter. You'll notice that like I made my deck like a lot to like get over like Baguska, and by a lot I mean just drew a swarm in this. But yeah, that was like a big problem whenever I was playing this deck, because anytime like you stop tier, like sure you'll stop them with like 2 or 3 hand traps, but they'll make Baguska and then you're just stuck because you have to pass back and then you just do it again next turn. Then your hand traps are gone, right? So yeah. 2 Gigantics, obvious, Zeus package, Wallow, Cat Shark, Nijin, Oimaru, and then obvious the Toad. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory here. The only cards that were last minute were pretty much this and this. So I originally didn't think this card was needed, but I ended up summoning it like every time. I think every match I summoned this card. I was used to playing without it and killing them like through over the course of multiple turns, but that was really risky against most decks because giving any deck a turn this format, especially tier, they can just top deck. Like they have so many insane top decks like Planet, Rhino Heart, Instant, Merly. Like anything they draw is like a 1 card play, so you need to be able to end the game out really fast. And this card came up every time. It was really good, best decision. And then Wallow, this card's one of the most awkward cards in the extra deck. Whenever I cut it, it comes up. Whenever I don't play it, or whenever I do play it, it never comes up. And obviously, I played it, so I never summoned it once. But the moment I cut it, I always summon it. So this could be anything, actually. It was Mannequin Cat first, but it didn't come up that much. Because I don't play any of the Chaos Hunter or the whatever guy, so it was alright. Like, I didn't miss any other card in the extra deck, honestly. So, pretty much played with a 14 card extra deck. And Prosperity kind of, like, helps, like, you not playing any extra cards anyways. Like it doesn't matter because you're playing Prosperity, right? So most of the time, whatever slot that would be here would get banished anyways. All right, for the side, 3. Yep. 3. Nibiru, we'll talk about this. 3 Gamma for the Mirror and Flu. Card's really good. Harpies, form back removal against like whatever. And then 3 Cosmics and a Double Cross. Okay, so this doesn't need to be explaining. Just another thing to note, it's kind of funny about Shifter, is I actually think this card is one of the more difficult cards to use, funny enough. I see a lot of people use this wrong. A lot of people will like, so a common thing I see people do is when your opponent, first actions activate Sharon, they'll drop Shifter immediately, and I don't think that's correct at all, because you want them to commit more cards into your Shifter. Like, even if they hit a name there after Sharon, they're going to make Kick Callous, and Kick Callous is going to pop itself, and then you chain the Shifter, because then that gets rid of the resources. You're banishing their Kick Callous, they're milling for no reason, and they get rid of the body on the field, so they can't make Baguska either, because they're most likely going to be fusing with the Sharon they have on the field, so that level 4 is gone. So, yeah, I don't see people play this card that way. They just drop it right away, and then they get Baguska summoned on them, and they just lose. But you have to kind of time this card like pretty well. Like a lot of times, if I have this plus a Bistio and they summon like Rhino Heart for example, I'll just Bistio up the Rhino Heart, because if I shifted them there, they just need any other level 4 and they can make Baguska. So you have to be careful when you use this. Actually, funny enough, even though it's the most brain dead card. 3 Nib. This card was just insane in the mirror match. No one plays around it. No one plays around it. So I thought like whenever I played a mirror, or whenever I was playing this deck, I realized that like at any point, if anyone nibbed me, I would just lose. So I just threw this card in because I expected to play 1 or 2 mirrors. End up playing none, so I didn't sign this card in all day. But I would play it again because it's just an auto in the mirror, and it gives you an edge because no one plays this card. And it hits like the random stuff too, like Naturia's okay, Pendulum's pretty good, and all that stuff. Double Cross just when you go first, sign in. And then standard Flu stuff, this, and Gamma's generically good cards. And that's about it for the deck profile. Alright, yeah, give my shoutouts at the start. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.